Hi everyone, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on 3 different ways to edit in EdTech books. So if you have a chapter that you're working on, if you click on the pencil, this is the main way to edit. It uses a WYSIWYG editor, TinyMCE, so you have access to a lot of tools here for like embedding YouTube videos or doing other things like that. Most of the work that you would do in this editor would be just simple type editing. If I come down, for instance, and I see references, I can highlight those and I can choose from the drop down here and make sure that they're tagged as a reference, and then I'll do the hanging indent on them. Do that for these others. Looks like they're all already set anyway, but I'll just do it. See if it's checked, it means it's already a reference, but I can turn that back on. Applying headings as well, correcting headings. These are things that you typically do with the TinyMCE editor. And you can also go to view source code if you want to see the HTML directly. This one you do have to save, so when you click save, it'll save it. So that's the first way. The second way is really useful if you're just like reading through an article and you're doing some spot edits. So like I say that if education was misspelled here. If I wanted to change this, I don't have to click on the pencil and go find it in the editor again. Instead, all I need to do is click this button right here, inline editing. So when I turn that on, I can then come here and just type directly on the content, and then when I click outside of the box, you see that it saves it. So if I refresh my page, let me just do this, you see that it's updated here. If I turn back on inline editor, I can then come in and click and change. So this is great for spot checking for typographical errors. It's not really good for adding bolds or italics or doing headings and things, but if you're trying to do some simple type editing, it's great for that. And then the third way is with the proofing tool. So this tool is more advanced, but it lets you see the HTML structure of the page. So if you click proofing, it'll show you the way that the chapter looks when it's published, but it'll put boxes around every HTML element so you can see the structure of the page. So here, for instance, you see there are some empty p tags here. And if I click on any element, I can then come over here to element actions, and I have a host of options for that specific element. If I click on a different element, you'll see these options change. The ID is changing here. So if I go back to the root, up here I have a bunch of functions I can run. One would be like remove the empty p tag. So if I click that, it just removed all of the paragraphs that weren't being used. And I have a variety of other things here that I might use. So this chapter is looking pretty good. A poorly formatted chapter will have a lot of boxes within boxes, and so those kinds of things you might have to correct here in the proofing tool. But let me recheck down here. So that took care of any issues on the page. You click save. So those are the 3 main ways to edit on EdTech books.